Call the meeting of the Riverside Township Board of Trustees to order. Please rise. And Clerk Reyes, would you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you would please indulge me, I'll wait a moment of silence for Joanne Cozy, who is a mover and shaker in the town. May she rest in peace.
Good friend to the township, too.
Yes. Yes, indeed. All right. So if the clerk would please call the roll.
Sure. Supervisor Wilt.
Here?
Clerk Reyes. Here. Assessor Sipkowitz is not here. Trustee Clark is absent. Trustee Heilenbach.
Present.
Trustee Carroll.
Present.
Trustee DeCosta.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. There being a quorum, the first order of business is the approval of minutes of the September 12th meeting of this board. What is your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of September 12th, 2023.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by trustee DeCassola, seconded by trustee Carroll, to approve the minutes of September 12th of the Riverside Township Board of Trustees. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, then all in favor of accepting these minutes, say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, are there any communications?
Yes. We have one communication from Village of Brookfield Fire Department Fire Chief James Adams. He sends a personalized thank you letter thanking the township for their generous grant award last month for the purchase of the battery-powered evacuation chairs. So it was a very nice letter. I'll leave it out if anyone would like to read it in full. It was quite substantial.
Yes, very good. Thank you. And that's it?
That's the only
Okay,
communication.
very good. If you don't mind, why don't we skip the reports for now and go to unfinished business, since we have our auditor, Ed Tracy of Selden Fox here. We'll go to unfinished business if there's no objection.
No objection.
No objection.
Okay, very good. Then, Mr. Tracy, you're on. If you would take the podium, identify yourself for the TV, and then give us a general presentation.
Sure, and I have no objection either. My name is Ed Tracy. I'm the audit partner with Selden Fox, and we performed the audit for the Riverside Township for the year ended March 31, 2023. Our opinion on the financial statements was an unmodified opinion. That's the highest form of assurance that we can give that the financial statements that follow are fairly presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles and governmental accounting standards. The financial statements themselves, there's two sets of financial statements within the audit report. There's what's called the government-wide financial statements, and then there's the fund financial statements. The fund financial statements are what you kind of maintain your books on. It's called the modified accrual basis. It's more of a current focus, I guess. And the government-wide financial statements are prepared at audit time, and that takes a more longer-term perspective. What I mean by that is, like when you purchase fixed assets, they're capitalized on the balance sheet and depreciated over time. So you have those long-term assets. You also have long-term liabilities on the government-wide balance sheet. And for the township, the long-term liabilities are primarily the net pension liability with IMRF. So on page 10 of the audit report is that statement of net position, that balance sheet under the government-wide financial statements. And I did mention that there is a net pension liability with IMRF of about $132,000 at March 31, 2023. Last year, there was actually a net pension asset. You were overfunded last year, and it kind of flipped the other way. And that's primarily, through no fault of the township. You make your annual required contributions, and those are based on expected earnings of the investment portfolio at IMRF. This past year, the portfolio suffered a loss, so as a result, a lot of its members, which previously had a net pension asset, suddenly found themselves with a small net pension liability. Nothing really to be concerned about. As long as you continue to make your annual required contributions, you're in good shape. And it's still 90% funded, so it's not like it's in dire straits. As far as the funds are concerned, those are presented.
Is 90% the goal? Isn't that the state goal? Or is
The
is it
state
supposed
goal
to
for
be-
IMRF, it's supposed to get to 100% in 21 years, I think it is, or 20 years at this point. 2042, I think is, we're supposed to
Yeah,
get to.
right.
So it's on track. It's definitely on track. And it just, the last couple of years were such great earnings that, they project your contributions based on an expected earning rate of 7.25%. For the last 3 years, it was more than double that, probably. So you built up so your share of the portfolio at IMRF, grew to the point where it was more than what was expected to be needed, and hence you're overfunded.
Okay.
So now your portfolio shrank a little bit, again, all unrealized losses. So it's probably more of a timing thing than anything else.
Okay.
Ed, would it have made a difference? We had a retirement that was kind of backloaded because there was a lot of vacation and sick time paid out partly in a lump sum and then partly in, a little bit heavier at the end of the fiscal year. Would that make a difference for us? Or
It might have made a little bit of a difference. And you can actually, when you look at there's a schedule in the report after the notes that kind of shows the breakdown of that. And it's really a comparison between the total pension liability versus what's called the net position of the plan, so what the assets on hand. So the pension liability did go up a little bit. It went up from about $1,080,000 to $1,220,000. So it did go up a little bit, and so that probably is, partially due to that. But the main reason why you flip from an asset to liability is the pension
fund itself?
net position itself went down by about $200,000.
Okay.
So. I guess it was a little combination of both, but I think primarily it had to do more with the IMRF investments. But yes, it would have affected that a little bit.
Okay.
As far as the funds are concerned, the fund financial statements are concerned, so the township reports the three funds. They report the general town fund, they report the community mental health fund, and the general assistance fund. And for the current year, the general town fund had a loss of $96,000 for the year, and their fund balance at the end of the year is about 55% of your annual expenses, so that's still in a comfortable position. The general assistance fund had a small increase of $14,000 for the year, but the actual expenses paid by the general assistance fund actually went up from where they went in the prior year, so that's again, I think normally, expenses going up may not be such a positive, but I think with the case with the general assistance fund, that shows that you're meeting the needs of the people, of your
There again, we had to increase the payment that we
Right.
made in any given month, so.
Right, yeah, so and the mental health fund had a small loss as well for the year, and that's, it was relatively small and still, the fund's in a comfortable position overall, and that one doesn't generally carry that big a fund balance anyways, it's kind of brings in the money and turns around and grants it out. We did make a couple adjustments this year to the financial statements. We made one adjustment for property taxes because with the delay in Cook County getting your property taxes, amounts that were received after year end needed to be, or at or around year end needed to be picked up as revenue in the fiscal year. So there was an additional revenue booked from property taxes as a result of that. And we also picked up some additional payables, primarily in the community mental health fund for some grants that were awarded right after the end of the year, but were budgeted for in the year we were auditing. So those were the two major adjustments we made. We didn't really have any issues with the internal controls. We take a look at those. We walk through transactions to see that they're being followed, and we felt that overall the control structure was fine.
Okay, very good. Are there any questions?
The only question I have, is there anything that you saw while performing your audit that you think that we should be doing something different or better?
No, I mean, we typically will make, some of those out-of-period adjustments, and that's not uncommon. We make that in the vast majority of our clients. I think, that doesn't really necessarily affect your decision, the financials you use for your decision-making and things like that. So I didn't have any problems there. I did see, that the cash is being reconciled in a timely manner and completely and accurately. And that's the biggest red flag if that's not happening. And so we found that was happening. And we thought we looked at, periodic, we look at activity throughout the year, and it seemed like everything was getting recorded in a timely manner and accurately. We really didn't have much, we didn't have to reclass expenses between accounts or things like that. So we felt overall, we made some adjustments, but that was mostly for out-of-period activity and pulling it back into the year.
Well, I think Supervisor Wilt, you and your staff, again, have done a very fine job. And it makes it easier for all of us that everything is done correctly. So
Keep learning and keep trying to improve the
that's
process.
exactly right.
All right, well, thank you.
Sure, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Well, in that case, we have the report, and so can we have a motion to accept the audit report?
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I'm sorry, who seconded?
I did.
Okay. I have a motion by trustee Heilenbach, seconded by trustee Carroll, to approve the audit as presented by Selden Fox. Is there any discussion? Then just let's, for the record, let's make this a roll call.
Trustee Heilenbach,
Yes.
trustee Carroll,
Yes.
trustee DeCosta,
Yes.
supervisor Wilt.
Yes. Thank you, that carried, and we'll be in touch. All right, then our next order of business we would come back to the reports, and I don't have a lot to report. Farmers Market is over for another season. I'm expecting one vendor that will still be sending me vouchers he had from a previous week and forgot to bring to the last market, so these numbers are not completely final, but we distributed 600 vouchers at $5 each, and then we redeemed 389 of them so far, for a total of $1,945 for this year's farmers market. We did not have as big a rush of vouchers the last day as I anticipated. I would say almost 68% of the people who received any vouchers used at least some of them, and 65% of the vouchers distributed, bless you,
Bless you.
were actually used. Amy Jaksic, who runs the market, could not be here tonight and has a conflict next month due to our later meeting date, but she plans to attend our December meeting to express her thanks for this partnership. She did recognize our support on the Farmers Market Facebook page at the end of the season. General assistance has still been busy, and you will see in the financials that I also had 2 cases of emergency assistance, excuse me, since our last meeting. The township was represented, oh boy, at the North Riverside Autumn Fest by trustee Heilenbach, who made his excellent chili, and myself. Alas, we did not win, but we represented well. The tasting public that did not have strong ties to other competitors certainly made us think we had a chance at the People's Choice Award. Several of you joined me to honor Public Safety Director Buckley, and there was a sellout crowd to recognize his well-earned Person of the Year award. And then I also attended the wake for Joanne Cozy. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have. I did fight a cold this month, so took it a little bit easier, but everything was moving along anyway. So if there's no further questions, we'll go on. The assessor is not here. Trustees, trustee DeCassola.
Supervisor, well, before we go
I'm
on,
sorry.
related to
Oh, sure.
the assessor, I just wanted to, bring to the board's attention what a great job the assessor's office is doing. I was somewhat delayed in getting my information together for my own appeal, contacted the office, and within a few short minutes, they emailed over the various comps that I needed in order to complete my appeal. They also sent over some great instructions, which kind of explained to me how to navigate that complicated county website. And so really, I just can't say enough of what a great job they're doing over there at their office. Both Assessor Sitkowitz and her team just couldn't have been better with all of it. So thank you.
Very good, yes, thank you. They do a terrific job up there, and we hear nothing but praise. Okay, so back to trustee DeCassola.
Thank you, Supervisor. No report.
Thank you. Trustee Carroll.
I went to the wake as well. I attended the wake. And what was the other thing?
Oh,
go ahead.
the person of the year.
It was lovely, yes.
Yes.
For Buckley, yes, attended that as well. Other
Yes,
than
it-
that, nothing.
It really was the place to be, wasn't it?
I was telling trustee Heilenbach, it was packed. I mean, it was really packed. It was a good show.
Yes, it was. Thank you. Trustee Heilenbach.
Good evening. The Mental Health Board reconvened in September for their meeting. A lot was discussed. We are planning a 50th anniversary event, and I will be contacting Riverside TV tomorrow to see if we can get the date nailed down. We're also doing something that we've done in the past, but we haven't done it for a long, long time, and that goes to our core agencies for a meeting. So we've got tentatively scheduled 4 different meetings at different agencies where we go and they talk about them. So this is something that, like I said, we haven't done in a long, long time. I think it's a great idea. And that's about all I have for my report. Oh, we have a new officers. Adam is the new president, Adam Wilt, and Kara Clance is the treasurer. And so far, so good. Went real well. The first meeting went really well. So I'm looking forward. They've got some new bright ideas. And also, we will be looking for a couple of new people. Supervisor Wilt has informed me that she's got like 8 or 10 candidates for the Mental Health Board. We've never had that before, and this is a good time. We've got 2 people that are going to leave the board in December, so I think new blood is always good. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. I think the fact that we had that response actually shows us that that our newsletter is read, because
Yes,
we announced that
absolutely.
there might be some openings and people started responding, so we
Right.
appreciate that residents are reading it. Okay, thank you. Then we have unfinished business, so we can go to new business. And first item on the agenda is the usual holiday stroll in Riverside is scheduled for Friday, December 1st.
It says October 27th.
That's
That's the
the
deadline.
registration deadline.
I knew that. Just testing.
Just checking,
I
yeah.
was testing.
I know,
You
I
bet.
knew it.
Good job.
Yes, so
Somebody needs sleep. Oh, that's me.
I have orally told them that we would participate, but I wanted to bring it to your attention because besides utilizing the town hall for the youth choirs, actually the art department of the elementary schools has also reached out, and they would like to display some student art during the event. And typically, we pay for, whether it's the magician, I think that's what they want to do, but we pay for entertainment in the auditorium that evening, and the building is open, of course, for all of these activities. And typically, we spend about $500 on that entertainment, so I wanted to present that here before I make the commitment that we will once again participate that way. So I will entertain a motion to do that if somebody would do so.
Be happy to make that motion. I love the stroll.
Okay, so we have a motion by trustee Carroll. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by trustee DeCassola to participate in the holiday stroll, and that would include the payment of the entertainment for, other than the choirs, the entertainment in the upper hall. Is there any discussion?
How can we recommend to the sleigh company to put slots down for people to sign up to avoid the crazy madhouse of parents screaming at each other when they close the pony rides?
Oh, boy.
I'm telling you, for 2 years, it has been
Well,
I mean, they are screaming at each other in the Riverside Foods parking lot because Junior and Lassie aren't gonna make the last. So we told them, next year, you've just gotta put a sign-up list online, and people can sign up for the 5-minute ride, and then there's no problem.
So I
a
certainly,
big deal.
we have a Chamber of Commerce that is reactivating and has some new officers, so I
I
will
would be
certainly
happy.
pass.
There
I mean,
was some police direction between some mothers that were very upset. They used their verbal judo to de-escalate said horse situation.
Kicking it off.
verbal judo and police action.
I am watching this unfold, and I told my wife that I would tell this board that a sign-up sheet is highly recommended for this year. And I'll be
Well,
happy to tell the board
As
that.
much as that, you are probably correct, trustee Carroll. Thankfully, we have nothing to do with that.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to write a strongly worded.
There you go.
Those strongly worded letters are very helpful. I will pass that information
I
along to
will
the
too. I
chamber.
will be happy to knock on somebody's door. and make a
Okay,
small
so that they have a
suggestion.
sign-up sheet, okay. All right, then we have an open motion, so would the clerk please call the roll?
Trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes,
Motion carries.
okay. All right, the next item is the purchase of holiday gift cards for the food pantry recipients. And in past years, we used to do $25 or $30 or $35, and as inflation has gone up, we used to do one for Thanksgiving and one for Christmas. Last year, we decided, because some people only come at that time of year, that perhaps one holiday one, people's timing isn't always such that it works out. You know, some people come at the end of each month, and therefore, they might miss one if they're a little bit late, and so forth. So last year, we gave gift cards for $50 just for the holiday season, and last year, we approved 60 of those cards to be given. Our numbers on the food pantry utilization have gone up a little bit this year, but again, some people come seasonally, so what would be your pleasure? We could do the same as last year or make some
Did
modification.
we have anybody that didn't get a gift card that needed one?
No, if we actually had people, I was monitoring it and monitoring our supply, and in fact, I think we had perhaps one or two left over that I wound up using to purchase food for the food pantry instead of
Just
that.
don't-
So
Sounds
Just
like-
like to be turned
Pretty-
right back
yeah.
to the pantry.
Sounds like it's the
Perfect number, yeah.
Okay,
I make a motion that we approve 60 gift cards at $50 each for the holiday handouts. With the stipulation that after Thanksgiving, you know, you got some people that come back at, you know, some people at Christmas, we'll have to see how it works at Thanksgiving. But 60 looks good, but we can reserve
we can
the right
reconsider in December,
to
yeah.
come back if
Yeah.
somebody needs it.
Very well. So I have a motion to purchase 60 $50 gift cards again this year for the food pantry recipients. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Heilenbach, seconded by trustee Carroll, to purchase 60 $50 gift cards for the holidays for our food pantry recipients. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk Reyes, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Very good. Next item is, we got our renewal rates for the employee health insurance. You can see, I've given all of you what it looks like. On the right is pretty much the only other company that is available. Many companies are getting out of the small group business. It's not that they're getting out of health insurance, but small groups is what we are. And as a matter of fact, it's interesting because there are some other possibilities for small groups that would be like a self-funded, but that's not allowed for government agencies. So, so this is kind of our option. It would be to stay with the plan and take a roughly just under $200 a month increase to change the plan, and we just changed last year, so
Last year, yeah.
I would not want to
Change it
make the
again.
people change again. And as you can see, the out-of-pocket is much greater in this alternate plan, considering it would still be an increase. So my recommendation is that we take the increase on the same plan and not change plans. And,
I agree. You don't have to have anybody change their doctors or anything.
well, that's it.
Follow.
And also, I checked out what we still have to pay, because we also cover vision and dental. And I looked at what we had in the budget, and it was pretty close. I was anticipating some kind of an increase, and I think it's like less than $83 shortfall in the budget, and that we can easily take from shift from another part. So if that would be my recommendation, and actually, I will make a motion that we stay with the same plan to renew and take the premium increase.
I'll second that, Supervisor Wilt.
Okay, I have a motion by Wilt, seconded by Carroll, to stay with the same plan with the increased premium. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, then Clerk Reyes, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Very good. And then I have some proposals. You don't have to make this decision tonight. We should do it before the end of the calendar year. But these would be the proposed dates, staying with the same second Tuesday for our meetings, except November, because we always try to not interfere with the Township Officials of Illinois Conference. That falls the November week when we normally would meet. That would be for the meetings. As for holidays, we have a couple of dates in red. We question, we're probably the last, outside of perhaps some Chicago area things, but I think even Chicago is getting away from Casimir Pulaski Day. And instead, we have found that for the last several years, the village closes on Christmas Eve as well as Christmas Day, and then we're open and they're closed. So my recommendation would be to flip-flop those, to remove the March date and substitute it instead the December 24th.
That makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense to me, too, and I don't work for the city anymore, so.
Any other objections? Then somebody want to make a motion to make these the dates for the meetings and the holiday schedule for the office?
Sure, I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Carroll. Do I hear a second?
Second.
So the motion is to adopt the calendar as it was presented here for second Tuesday meetings, except for November, when it would be the third Tuesday. And then on our holiday schedule, the same dates as 2023, except to remove the Casimir Pulaski Day and substitute instead Christmas Eve as a holiday. Is there any discussion?
Just one quick, the committee of the whole.
That,
Is that
let's
on-
take that one separately.
Okay.
Okay.
just,
So, if there's no objections, all in favor of adopting that public notice? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. And then let's look at the township calendar in terms of the committee of the whole. And we simply schedule this so that we've got it on the calendar and we don't have to notice every meeting. And then instead, if we decide to cancel one, we just post a notice to
Okay.
cancel. And you had a question on that one?
no, you just
okay.
answered it, yes.
The only, here too, you see that November 5th would be our traditional committee of the whole. I would suggest maybe scratching that one because it will be Election Day. And this room is
Will be
used on that.
utilized, yeah.
The building is utilized that night. So I would suggest we just remove the committee of the whole for November. And if we should need a separate meeting, we can always call it
Add
for a
it.
different date.
What's the posting requirement to add?
7 days,
7 days?
5 or 7.
Not even, it's like a 48 hour.
48 hours.
Yeah.
48 hours.
48 hours.
For any
For a
meeting.
regular meeting. If in emergency, you can do less than that.
Right, but 48 hours notice, so. Okay, so I will move that we adopt that with the striking of the November date. And entertain a second.
I'll second.
Motion by Wilt, second by Carroll, to adopt the Committee of the Whole calendar, striking November 5th from that list. Any discussion? And if not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. The next item is simply a notice that if you have any thoughts on the tax levy, I will want to be working on that next month because we have to file it by the end of the year. And I am going to be looking at the maximum. I mean, the expenses are just such that whatever is the allowable, and probably go for just under 5%. But I think that the CPI will probably
close there.
justify that
Yeah.
anyway. So,
Okay.
just,
The Mental Health Board will be following suit, too.
yeah, it's just what you have to do responsibly. We can't run a
Right.
township without funds, and this building is not getting any younger.
Right.
You're essentially losing money unless you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly right.
Right. Fortunately, by having shifted some of our accounts to different kinds of accounts with the bank, our savings accounts are earning more interest. So you'll see when we get to the financials that we're doing better than predicted on that, so. Finally, again, all right. Then no action needs to be taken on that item. Just wanted to give you a heads up. If you have any questions about the process or any suggestions, I will welcome them. The next items are simply for informational purposes. I did file by the end of September as required with the county, the annual treasurer's report. This is just a distilled one-page report that basically is a compilation based on the audited financials that were given at the end of March, or that were compiled from the fiscal year, which ended March 31st. So you can see here, this is where we report by the amount paid to various entities, anybody over a certain amount, and so forth. And this is posted, and it was filed with the county. If you have any questions, you're welcome to reach out. You will notice some names that may not be familiar to you, because this also does include the mental health board's expenditures. Okay, then it's a reminder that we have a shred-a-thon coming up on Saturday, October 21st at the Masonic Lodge at 40 Forest Avenue again. That will run from 9 a.m. to noon. Once again, that was posted in the newsletter. We have flyers out. It's on our Facebook page. It's on our website. And please spread the word. If you need, I can send you a color version of this if there's anywhere you want to share it, anywhere you want to post it. And we are, once again, asking, if possible, for people to bring a non-perishable, unexpired food item for the food pantry. And that is, again, just informational. Not listed here, but another informational reminder to the board members who said they would participate. The Riverside Parks and Recreation is having a trunk or treat event by the water tower on Wednesday, October the 18th, from 5:30 to 7, and the township will be participating in that. Furthermore, just a reminder, if anybody wants to go to the Springfield Township Officials of Illinois Annual Educational Event, I know that Trustee Clark is going, because she's on the board, and I have signed up to go. The preferred so-called hotels, which is where the meeting is held, and one that is connected to it, are already, it's past their allowable time. They only left that open through last week. However, there's a bevy of hotels right within a couple of blocks of the main hotel. So if you want to go, it's not an impossible thing to do. It's usually quite educational, and it's a good opportunity to rub elbows with other township officials. And that is all for informational purposes, unless anybody has anything else to just give for information. And we can move to the warrants.
All right, are we
Trustee
ready?
Carroll, go right ahead.
All right. I, Trustee Carroll, moves that the board authorize and ratify payment of the bills identified on the general warrant for October of 2023 in the amount of $31,654.45 as presented to this board on the 10th of October, 2023.
I'll
Thank you.
second it.
I have a motion by Trustee Carroll, seconded by Trustee Heilenbach, to approve the general warrants for October 2023 in the amount of $31,654.45. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk Reyes, please call the roll.
Trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Carried.
I will make a second motion that the board ratify and authorize payment of the amounts indicated on the following warrants. The utility warrant for October of 2023 in the amount of $1,234.21. The payroll warrant for October of 2023 in the amount of $19,212.59. The health warrant from October of 2023 in the amount of $2,983.42. The general assistance warrant for October of 2023 in the amount of $9,480.60. The radio township players warrant for October of 2023 in the amount of $200. And finally, the food pantry warrant for, again, October of 2023 in the amount of $1,923.33. All of the above is presented to this board today, the 10th of October, 2023.
Thank you, Trustee Carroll. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Carroll, seconded by Trustee DeCassola, to approve the following warrants for October 2023 in the following amounts. The utility warrant, the amount of $1,234.21. Payroll warrant in the amount of $19,212.59. Health warrant in the amount of $2,983.42. General assistance warrant, the amount of $9,480.60. The Township Radio Players warrant in the amount of $200. And the food pantry warrant in the amount of $1,923.33. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Clerk Reyes, please call the roll.
Trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee DeCosta.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Please note in the statement of revenues and expenditures that, we're still waiting for tax money, and we will be waiting until December. So where the cash flow is going to be an issue somewhat again, but I think we've got it handled, and we're not making any expenditures outside the normal until we have that money. So, hearing nothing else, is there any public comment? I hear none.
Public.
And so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by DeCassola, seconded by Heilenbach to adjourn this meeting. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you very much.